Real Madrid will not win the Champions League unless they sort out themselves tactically. Now, Real Madrid showed yesterday why they are so far behind all the best teams in the world, especially in the Champions League. Now, that is exactly what we're going to look at today, what Real Madrid have got issues with and what they can improve. Now, before we do that, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, comment your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think is the issue with Real Madrid at this moment in time? And of course, we have to start with the first thing, build-up issues. Now, Liverpool pressed very high last night in the +1, as I mentioned in the preview last night, that they do differ between their man-to-man or their +1. Now, what the +1 means is that they want basically two centre-backs on the striker. Now, in this situation, Konate and Van Dijk were both marking Mbappe, so they were 2v1. But what that does mean is that there is a free man. Now, look at the screenshot here. You can see that Carreras is the one player who's always free when Liverpool are pressing high from the goal kick especially. Now, what Real Madrid struggled to do a lot of the time is to go to Carreras. And what they started to do is go to the right to Camavinga. Now, of course, Camavinga started this game, as we mentioned in the match reaction yesterday, and that just didn't work because Andy Robertson pressed him so well. Now, Real Madrid constantly lost the ball off that right side for Real Madrid, left side of Liverpool. Florian Wirtz and Andy Robertson really picked up the ball in very good areas and they threatened Real Madrid constantly. Now, Real Madrid did find Carreras at some point in the game, and what Carreras was able to do was then give the ball to Vinny, and Vinny to go in a 1v1 against Conor Bradley. Now look, we'll get onto the attacking side in a minute. However, my thing is this. Why do we not have our midfielders come in receiving the ball deep? Now, I actually looked at the Arsenal game against Liverpool. Liverpool pressed the exact same way. What Rice did really well in that game was come and receive the ball deep from the centre-backs, which made that a 3v2 in the press. Now, that outnumbered Liverpool's press, and that allowed Arsenal to be able to pass out the back very easily. Why are our players not doing this? Why are our players not able to do this? So that begs the question, Xabi, what was the plan? Because my issue with this is that every single time that we built that from the back, we either gave the ball away, we didn't find Carreras enough, or what we did struggle to do with is we kept going long to Mbappe. Why are we going long to our 5'8" striker? Is this really the best that you've got, Xabi? Now, of course, we can't blame everything on Xabi. However, when you're talking about passing out at the back in the press, that is the manager's instructions. Now, if we have to go long, now I did mention in the preview yesterday as well in the match reaction, that when a team goes man-to-man, which Liverpool did do last night, we've seen Courtois go long. But why do we not have a guy like Gonzalo Garcia? Gonzalo Garcia showed an absolutely excellent Club World Cup, and he allowed Real Madrid to get the ball up to him, and he was able to receive the ball because of how much of a number 9 he is. Real Madrid in this point in time do not have a focal point in this team. Now, Kylian Mbappe has always been a left winger or a second striker. Now, what the issue with Mbappe is that he has no presence in the box whatsoever, which then means that there is no ability to create space for any of our other players. Now, let's just get on to the attack. Mbappe constantly coming receiving cutbacks, constantly asking for cutbacks, not being in the box enough. I mean, just look at the example here. Carreras makes a beautiful run into the box, beats one or two players. All that little run is asking for is a striker just to make that run across the back four. What is Mbappe doing? He sat outside the box asking for the ball. There's another one here. Arda Güler gets a really nice break, and look at Mbappe outside the box. Why is he not making the run across? This is what strikers do. That is a striker's instinct, but this guy doesn't have the striker's instinct. Now, I know he's been a left winger before for PSG. I know he's been a second striker for France at times. However, Real Madrid cannot continue to go into a big game like this with players like this who do not understand the number 9. Look at Liverpool today. They were able to go long to Ekitike at multiple occasions because he is a proper number 9. So it gives that ability for the team to get out. Real Madrid do not have that ability with Kylian Mbappe as a number 9. That is just the hard truth. That isn't a criticism. That is just facts. Now, Real Madrid have to start understanding that to put the right profiles into the team to make this team better in the elite games. Because again, it might work against Rayo Vallecano, it might work against Valencia, but will it work against the elite? The evidence is there. Real Madrid keep losing big games because of this reason. And that gets on to my next question. Where the hell is Gonzalo Garcia? If this is how Xabi Alonso wants to play, where is Gonzalo Garcia? Gonzalo Garcia was the best player of the Club World Cup, an absolute breakthrough star, the top scorer, And we haven't even seen him since then. He's had a few cameos here and there, but this is a guy who allowed Real Madrid to play like they want to do now. They allowed Real Madrid to go long because he was able to chest it down. He was able to get others in play. It wasn't just his attacking play, which he was a top scorer of the tournament, by the way. It was his overall play. He was linking up with players so well because he's a pure number 9. And what the second thing, or the best thing that he did, was he was occupying the 2 centre backs. And what he allowed Real Madrid to do was to get crosses into the box with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, if you watched Trent yesterday, you could tell he was looking up to try to see if he can find anyone in the box. But if he looks into the box, Arda Güler was making runs into the box. He's about 5'1". So this is where the issues with the profiles is an issue with Real Madrid. Whether it's the midfield, whether it's the attack, there are profile misuse every single where. And that's where Xabi Alonso has to figure this out. He has to change this. He has to start playing guys like Gonzalo Garcia in that striker position and allow to break space for anyone else. And of course, he might even get goals himself. This is not good enough. Real Madrid are also still struggling with set pieces. Now, if you remember the game against Atletico Madrid, every single cross, every single set piece was a goal-scoring goal, unheaded by Soloth. Against Liverpool on Tuesday, it was the exact same. Again, header, set piece, goal. That is not good enough. And my question to end this video is, Xabi, what are you going to do to change it? Because you have to change it, my bro. You have to change this. You can't go into another game with these midfielders and this attack. You can't do this anymore. Yes, individually they are fantastic players. Like I said, this isn't a criticism. Profiles matter. Profiles, profiles, profiles. I'm going to keep saying it until people understand. Profiles is the single most important thing in football. Because football is so tactical, you cannot allow yourself to have players who don't have the profiles to fit how you want to play. Now, Xabi Alonso for sure does not want to play like this. I'm sure he doesn't. But maybe he's forced to play like this because of the profiles that he has. Maybe he has to look in the academy. Thiago Pichach has been one of the breakthrough stars forecast here. Can he come through? We don't know yet, but he has to look at something else because this is not working. But look, that's just my thoughts. That's just my little tactical breakdown of Real Madrid's issues this season. Will Xabi Alonso fix it? I don't know. Let me know your comments in the comment section, of course. Let me know your thoughts, of course. I love hearing from you guys. And like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe because you will be getting more videos from this. But as far as I go, Hala Madrid.